Good morning guys. So today simply मैं NCERT रीड करूँगी एंड बाकी का देखा जाएगा. कल का ही टारगेट है, कंप्लीट करना बाकी है. Yeah, let's see. I will keep the mic on and अगर disturb हो तो you can simply lower the volume or mute the video and join the live with me and yeah, okay. Locomotion and movement. Movement is one of the significant features of living beings. Animals and plants exhibit a wide range of movement. Streaming of protoplasm in the unicellular organism like amoeba is a simple form of movement. Movement of cilia, flagella, and tentacles are shown by many organisms. Human beings can move limbs, jaw, eyelid, tongue, etc. Some of the movement result in change of place or location. Such voluntary movements are called locomotion. Okay, voluntary movement जो voluntary movement होता है locomotion कहते हैं. Walking, running, climbing, flying, swimming are all some forms of locomotory movement. Yes. Locomotory structure need not to be different from those affecting other types of movement. Okay. For example, in paramecium, cilia helps in the movement of food through the site of pharynx and in locomotion as well. Hydra can use its tentacles for capturing its prey and also use them for locomotion. We use limbs for change in body posture and locomotion as well. The two can be linked by stating that all locomotion are movement, but all movement are not locomotion. Method of locomotion performed by animals vary with their habitats and the demand of the situation. However, locomotion is generally for search of food, shelter, mates, suitable breeding grounds, favorable climatic condition, or to escape from enemies, predators. Types of movement. Cells of the human body exhibit three main types of movements, namely amoeboid, cellularly, and muscular. Some specialized cells in our body like macrophages and leukocytes in blood cell exhibit amoeboid movement. It is okay. Some specialized cells in our body like macrophages and leukocytes in blood exhibit amoeboid movement. Yes, macrophages or leukocytes. It is affected by pseudopodia formed by the streaming of protoplasm. Like in amoeba, cytoskeletal elements like microfilaments are also involved in amoeboid movement. Ciliary movement occurs in most of our internal tubular organs, which are lined by ciliated epithelium. Yes, coordinated movement of cilia in the trachea help us to coordinated movement of cilia in the trachea help us in removing dust particles and some of the foreign substances inhaled along with the atmospheric air. Passage of ova through the female reproductive tract is also facilitated by the ciliary movement. Movements of limb, jaw, tongue, etc. require muscular movement. Contractile property of muscles are effectively used for locomotion. Yes, another movements by human beings and majority of multicellular organisms. Locomotion requires a perfect coordinated activity of muscular, skeletal, and neural system. Muscles. Cilia and flagella are the outgrowths of cell membrane. Yes, flagellar movement helps in the swimming of spermatozoa, maintenance of water current in the canal system of sponges, and in locomotion of protozoans like euglena. Okay. Flagellar movement maintenance of water current in the canal system of sponges and in locomotion of protozoans like euglena. Canal system, okay. And locomotion sponges and in locomotion of protozoans like euglena muscle locomotion, okay. Okay, muscle is a specialized tissue of mesodermal gas origin. About 40 to 50% of the body weight of a human adult is contributed by muscle. They have special properties like excitability, contractibility, extensibility, and elasticity. Muscle have been classified using different criteria, namely location, appearance, and nature of regulation of their activities. Based on location, three types of muscle are identified: skeletal, visceral, and cardiac. Skeletal muscle closely associated with skeletal components of the body. They have striped appearance under the microscope and hence are called striated muscles. As the activities are under the voluntary control of nervous system, they are known as voluntary muscles too. They are they have a stripe appearance under the microscope. Okay, skeletal muscle में stripes होते हैं. Appearance under microscope and hence are called striated muscles. As the activities are under the voluntary control of the nervous system. Activities under voluntary control. Activities under तुम्हारा voluntary control of the nervous system. They are known as voluntary muscles too. Skeletal muscle or voluntary muscle. They are primarily involved in locomotory actions and in change of body posture. Locomotory action and in change of body posture. Involved in locomotory action and change in body posture. Yes. Visceral muscles are located in the inner walls of visceral organs of the body like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. Visceral muscles located in the inner wall of inner walls of hollow hoga visceral organs of the body like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. Visceral muscles are located in the inner walls of hollow visceral organs of the body like alimentary canal, reproductive tract, etc. They do not exhibit any striation and smooth in appearance, hence they are called smooth muscles, no striated muscle. Their activities are not under the voluntary control, and their activities not under the control of voluntary control of the nervous system and therefore known as involuntary muscle. Smooth muscle or visceral muscle, they are involuntary muscles. They assist, for example, in the transportation of food through digestive tract, and gametes through genital tract. As the name suggests, cardiac muscles are the muscles of heart, and many cardiac muscle cells assemble in a branching as the name suggests, cardiac muscles are the muscles of heart. Many cardiac muscles will assemble in a branching pattern to form cardiac muscles. Based on appearance, cardiac muscles are striated. Based on appearance, cardiac muscles they are striated. Based on appearance, cardiac muscles striated. They are involuntary in nature, as the nervous system does not control their activities directly. Involuntary in nature, as the nervous system does not control their activities directly. skeletal muscle में देखते हैं for mechanism of contraction. Each organized skeletal muscle in a body is made up of a number of muscle bundles or fascicles held together by a common collagenous होता है connective tissue called fascia. Okay, important. Fascia में आता है. Each organized skeletal muscle in our body is made up of a number of muscle bundles or fascicles held together by a common collagenous connective tissue layer called fascia. Each muscle bundle contains a number of muscle fiber. Okay, each muscle fiber is lined by plasma membrane called sarcolemma enclosing the sarcoplasm. Muscle fiber is a syncytium as the sarcoplasm contain many nuclear. Okay, muscle fiber तुम्हारा syncytium होता है, मतलब बहुत सारे nucleus होते हैं because muscle fiber is a syncytium as the sarcoplasm contain many nuclei. Endoplasmic reticulum, that is sarcoplasmic reticulum of the muscle fiber, is the storehouse of calcium iron. A characteristic feature of the muscle fiber is the presence of large number of parallelly arranged filaments in the sarcoplasm called myofilaments or myofibrils. Each myofibril has alternate dark and light bands on it. A detailed study might establish that the striated appearance is due to distribution pattern of two important proteins, actin and myosin. Light band contains actin and is called I band or isotropic band, whereas dark band contain A or N. Isotropic band contain myosin. Both the proteins are arranged as rod-like structure. Okay, both proteins are arranged as rod-like structure parallel to each other and also the longitudinal axis of the myofibrils. Also to the longitudinal axis of the myofibrils, yes. Actin filaments are thinner as compared to the myosin filament, hence are commonly called thin and thick filaments respectively. In the center of each I-band is an elastic fiber. Center of each I-band is an elastic fiber called Z-line which bisects it. Z-line which जो bisect करता है. The thin filaments are firmly attached to the thin filament firmly attached to the Z-line. Thick filaments in the A bands are held together in the middle of the band by a thin fibrous membrane called M-line. Thick filament में okay. Thick filaments in the A band are also held together. Thick filaments in the A bands are also held together. Okay. Thick filaments in the A band are also held together in the middle of this band by a thin fibrous membrane called M-line. The A and I bands are arranged alternately throughout the length of the myofibrils. A and I bands are arranged alternately. Yes. A and I bands are arranged alternately throughout the length of the myofibril. Portion of the myofibril between two successive Z-line is considered as the functional unit and is called the sarcomere. The portion क्या कहते हैं? The portion of the myofibril between two successive Z-lines is considered as the functional unit of contraction. And is called sarcomere. Okay. In a resting state, the edges of thick filaments on either side of the thick filaments partially overlap the free ends of the thick filament, leaving the central part of the thick filament. The central part of the thick filament do not overlap by thin filament is called edge zone. Thin filament, thick filament to Z-line, A band. This is not overlapped. Okay. Okay. Structure of protein. Structure of contractile protein. Each actin thin filament is made up of two F filamentous actins helically bound to each other. Each F actin is a polymer of monomeric G globule actin. Two filaments of another protein. Two filaments of another protein, tropomyosin, also run close to the F actin throughout its length. A complex protein, troponin, tropomyosin होता है filament and troponin is distributed at regular intervals onto tropomyosin. In the resting state, a subunit of troponin marks the active binding site for the myosin on the actin filament. The resting status of unit of troponin marks the active binding site for myosin on the actin filament. Each myosin thick filament is also polymerized protein. Many monomeric proteins are called meromycin. Monomeric protein होता है meromycin constitute one thick filament. Constitute एक thick one. Okay, many monomeric proteins called meromycin constitute one thick filament. Each meromycin has two important parts of globular head with short arm and a tail. Former being called the heavy head and with a short arm former being called the heavy meromycin HMM and the later the light meromycin LMM. The HMM component, the head and the short arm, projects outward at regular distance and angle from each other from the surface of a polymerized myosin filament and is known as cross arm. Globular head is an active ATPase enzyme and has binding sites for ATP and active sites for actin. Globular head has binding sites for ATP and active sites for actin. Okay. Mechanism of muscle contraction. Mechanism of muscle contraction is best explained by sliding filament theory, which states that contraction of a muscle fiber takes place by the sliding of thick filament over thick filament. Muscle contraction is initiated by single muscle contraction is initiated by a single sent by the signal sent by the central nervous system CNS via motor neuron. Motor neuron along with muscle fiber connected to it constitute a motor neuron along with muscle fiber connected to it constitute a motor unit. Junction between motor neuron and the sarcolemma of the muscle fiber. Junction between motor neuron and the sarcolemma of the muscle fiber is called neuromuscular junction or the motor end plate. a neural signal reaching this junction release neurotransmitter acetylcholine, which generates an action potential in the sarcolemma. This is spread towards the muscle fiber and causes the release of calcium ion into the sarcoplasm. Increase in calcium level leads to the binding of calcium with a subunit of troponin on actin filament and thereby remove the masking of active sites from myosin. Utilizing the energy for ATP hydrolysis, myosin heads now binds to exposed active sites to form a cross bridge. This is the actin filament, and myosin filament. Okay, ATP plus P. Sorry, you have to start. यहाँ पर ATP होता है, ATP होने से क्रॉस ब्रिज ब्रेक होता है, then ATP breaks into ATP plus PI inorganic phosphate. Okay, then okay, cross bridge. Uh, this is the cross bridge head and arm. No, sorry, cross arm होता है. Cross bridge myosin head. Okay, myosin head formation of cross bridge. Then sliding or rotation होने से ADP plus P sorry, ADP plus P होते हैं. Check. Medico.